Awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 4. I'm going to consider this episode 4 of day one. Day one of where the hell are we?
RoofCon 2024.
2024 Orlando Orange County Convention Center. Amazing. Been amazing first day so far. We've had some great interviews. I've had some fantastic conversations on and off the mic. A lot of great people have come up to visit us and share what they've gotten from our podcast. Like, I think I've heard more people come over to me today saying, like, man, you guys are killing it. And, and quite honestly, Vic and I have felt like the quality of people and content and conversations over probably the past 12 months has gotten better. But in my eyes, I feel like over the past 2 months and quite frankly, and quite honestly, in full transparency, like, I used to hate doing this.
Really?
Yeah. Up until about 2-3 months ago, I actually started to enjoy doing podcasts with people. And we're coming up on 5 years of doing this because of the fear, right? I mean, all kinds of things I dealt with, like imposter syndrome. I'm out of my league. These guys, people, women coming on the show are like, just like all these crazy, insecure feelings that we feel that we don't vocalize.
Right.
Right.
But you got to get out of your head.
Yeah. Right. So and I did it. We ground through it. Today actually was our 252nd episode. Like, we've done this for 252 weeks in a row.
Wow.
I've never missed a Wednesday.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But I guess my point is that I knew it was very uncomfortable. Okay. But I'm a firm believer of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, right? Until you start to feel comfortable with it. So I told Vic, I said, now that I'm feeling comfortable finally after almost 5 years of doing this, like, what are we going to do next? Like, are we going to build a 2-story? Are we going to get like a scissor lift that raises this thing? Like, what can we do now to push ourselves to that next uncomfortable level of success or thrill or excitement or whatever that is? I don't even know what we're chasing here. I didn't even know what this was going to turn into. It started on an iPhone 8. Hey, I'm Ty with TC Backer Construction, promoting a charitable event that we did. We participated in. We built these gazebos and auctioned them off at a local home and garden show for an organization called Workforce Now, which encourages students to get into the trades. So we built these things off, but nobody was going to know to come there to bid on them. So we're like, how can we promote this thing? So somebody suggested doing a Facebook Live. I was like, all right, cool. What the hell? Why not? Screw it. How do you do that? Well, there's a live button on Facebook.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit. Okay. So we smashed a live button. We did that for about a month before the home show. And home show came. We had a nice big TC Backer booth there, and we got sales reps there. Well, we were going live all day long while we were there. And we were like, holy shit, like, we're reaching more people than are coming through those doors. Maybe we're onto something here. So that weekend ended. That following Wednesday, we're like, well, are we going to go live? Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to keep doing this? We're like, yeah, let's do it. So by now I got like a tripod. So I got a little tripod.
Fancy.
Hit the live button and run back around. Hey, I'm Ty with Behind the Toy. That's my friend Chris Baker. Yeah. So we all got to start somewhere, right? Even though I didn't know what at that point in time what we were on to, but what has happened, we've created a YouTube channel, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Play. Now we're all over the place, and we've never boosted anything. The growth that has happened here has been strictly organic. And I'll be honest with you, I have had fun. It's been our garage band, but I was never, I've never been like I had get the butterflies and stuff where it wasn't like I would be excited, but like nervous, excited. You know what I mean? But today, like doing it now, like I'm pumped. Like, I'm pumped that you're here. I'm pumped that, that second time you're on the show, and I said, can you bring Sherry on the show? Sydney?
Close. Very close.
Sydney, what is it?
Tiffany.
I'm so sorry. I'm just messing with her. I knew it was Tiffany all along. Anyhow, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
For coming on the show again. We really wanted to put her on the spotlight because we talk so high. He has talked so highly of you. We all need that rock behind us. We kind of talked about like this work-life balance a couple minutes ago, and let's hear from your aspect of things. How has he done? I'm sure he wasn't perfect at first, but what do you appreciate? Maybe what don't you appreciate?
We've definitely come a long way in the last 25 years about working together as a team, about having very open conversations, about taking the emotion, the pride, the ego out of things and focusing on our goals, our shared goals.
Mhm.
So that would be something that would be my biggest recommendation is to have common goals and do whatever you need to do as long as you're both on the same page to achieve those goals, both the short-term and the long-term goals.
No, I fully agree with that. Like if your significant other isn't on board, and I think we touched on this a little bit the last time you came on the show, like that's the thing, having the right partner in crime in this, right? Like we both need to know, like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna have to work really hard, probably for a long time. I don't know how long. And if they kind of like each other, if each person, individual in that relationship knows their role, right? I'm not saying that like shut your hole, know your role. What I mean is like, okay, dad works so he can provide. So this is like your job, like whatever that part of your job. If that was him, if that was you creating estimates or whatever that looked like. But like for Jana used to have to drive me. I lost my license for 15 years. So when Jana and I first got together, I didn't have my driver's license. So Jana, when she came to work with me, she left her job. She was at a job for like 20 years. She was, I think it was called a optometrist. She worked for an eye doctor, and she made the glasses and stuff like that. So she had already had a career in eyes, and I convinced her it was a good idea to come work for us, and so she did. She took a risk in me, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So, but I also needed a driver because I had appointments. I'm running appointments, doing retail stuff, inspection, stuff like that, right? So, good old Jana, and we had Garmin back then.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, I get pretty heated, like you missed the fucking driveway, shit
Yeah.
like that. So we'd argue
Yes.
and bicker and stuff like that. But, so she knew her role. I knew my role. Like we worked together. Like she had the office stuff. After a while, a couple year or two into it, I was able to get a blow and go, and which I was so grateful for. I heard everybody like complain about it so much. I was like, I'm driving. I do not care. And at this point in time, I didn't have a drink in like 7 years. I'd had 7 years sober at that time. So that wasn't a fear of mine. Just let me drive, please. State of Pennsylvania, because it is a privilege, and that's what it says. Driving in the state of Pennsylvania is a privilege, and it really is. The amount of hoops I had to jump through to get my license back. It was my fault.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
And I know that when I first started, 25 years ago, we used to have that mindset when I first started as a sales rep was I wanted to keep her away from what I was doing. I didn't want her to know every single day, every part of what my job was. My thought process and my egotistical thought process was this is my job. I can handle it. I'm the provider of the family. You do you, I'll do me, and we'll just meet in the middle. Right. But in reality, what it is the fact of it is I was insecure on what I was doing because good or bad, no matter what the day was, all she wanted to know is just what was going on. How are you doing? She doesn't care how the job was. She was, how are you doing? And I kept that from her. And that's tough, right? I mean, because all she cared about was how I was doing as a person. And without telling her the actual how I was doing, reality was I was keeping things from her. And she could tell you how that felt. I mean, go ahead.
Let me ask you this question first. Do you think it was some of it was due to you didn't think she would understand?
Well, I know when I first started, I know she didn't understand because to be straight up honest with you, I didn't understand. Jim Johnson, my mentor, the guy that taught me how to do this. I mean, like everybody, they bring you in and they say, hey, you can make a lot of money doing this job. Here's what you're doing, right? Our training and everything 25 years ago was completely different than the training they have now. We didn't have conventions like this. We didn't have books. We didn't have the Chuck Tokies, the Reggie Brown. We didn't have that out there. We had, here's some contracts, here's your shirts, knock on some doors.
Here's a pencil.
Let's go, right? Yeah. And so it was difficult. Back then, it was a sink or swim. Either you sink or you swim. Because it was 1099, 100% commission. Here you go, right?
Yes.
And those reps that people, it's funny because I hear this all the time. People nowadays say, is it harder to sell now or is it harder to sell back 25 years ago? And I say it's a mixture of both. I mean, the hardest part now is, there's so many sales reps out there. There's so many companies out there. that you like what Deshaun just got done talking in his speech. You know, I mean, there's so many amateurs out there, but there's a lot of them. You know, and insurance companies make it difficult with their policies, procedures, and things like that. And that's for a whole nother show, right? But like back then, it was hard because we didn't have the knowledge of what we were doing. I mean, we were knocking doors, and the mindset in my brain was nobody's gonna buy my vacuum. You know what I mean? I don't want to go knock on doors and sell vacuums all day. Until that time, I realized that I'm not selling a vacuum. I'm selling a need, not a want. I'm selling a need, and it's my job to make them feel comfortable with me as a person. And until that light switch flicked, where I took that job and I turned it into my career, that's when everything changed. Because it changed from me not worrying about, hey, you know, the money and all that other aspects of it, to worrying about, I'm here to help that, you know, that homeowner pursue their best interest. And when I was able to relay that message to Tiffany, that's when everything changed with her. And I told her, hey, I need the help.
Right.
You know, if we want to take that $1 million rep to that $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million rep, $18.5 million rep, I can't do it alone. I need your help. And that's why incorporating your significant other was really beneficial for us.
Yeah.
Right. And it was about me. Once he started to feel comfortable and he understood his job, that's when I kind of jumped on board and we started communicating, and it became, well, what parts can I do? You're so bogged down. And I was working full time. I was in banking operations. I was in residential lending. I was doing my own thing. But at night, he would just be sitting in front of the TV, you know, working on files and taking care of things. And I started to ask, well, there has to be something that I can do. And so he slowly started teaching me one tiny segment of the file. And I would do that segment on every single file that he had. So he would set them in a little pile. And then at night, I would sit and do my one little part on all those files and then set them over here. And in the morning, he'd grab his files and just go. Well, slowly through time, I began to learn more segments until there were pieces that I could take off of his plate. And in learning that, I learned the process. I learned the timeline. The pressure was off of him. I understood how long it took to get paid. And you just slowly ease into becoming a team and doing what you can. I've had people ask me, well, how do you maneuver this? It depends on your process and your other person's world. But whether it be just a communication or whether it be small tasks within, there are pieces that you can share. But more importantly, it's the mental connection that I'm helping you. I'm here too. We're part of a team. We have shared goals, and I'm willing to bend and break if you're willing to bend and break for this next calendar year to attain our goals. So that's when it really changed for us, is when he opened up and we communicated and we began to share the responsibility. Even though it was his job, it became our responsibility to see those files, to see those homeowners through.
No doubt. You know, and that was probably a huge pivotal point in both of your lives or your marriage, if you guys were married at the time.
We were, yes.
Like the growth, the exponential growth that had taken place in the new opportunities that were presented to both of you during that time frame of, and you, the learning experience of like letting something go, because I understand being the man of the house, like, no, I got this. I don't need help. I know what I'm doing. Right. And for you to be vulnerable with her, like, yeah, I do need help. That might be a good idea. Like, and have her help you come up with like a process, you know, and taking her advice. And I'm sure it's not perfect every day, and it's not, still isn't with Jen and I. Now since then, she's become a stay-at-home mom and then stay-at-home grandmother. Now she's a stay-at-home grandmother now. But what happened was my mom ended up getting sick and she moved in with us. So at that point in time, we were kind of like, one of us, again, going back to sacrifices, like you were kind of talking about, like we're both willing to bend here. Well, then I ended up going back out, not out on my own again, but like she decided to, you know, not come into the office every day and take care of my mom. And shortly after that, my son started to pump out a bunch of kids too. So it just made more sense, you know, for her to be, you know, a stay-at-home grandmother and take care of my mom and stuff like that. But that without having, you know, the communication, I think is big. You touched on the communication thing. So she knows where you're at, right? Mentally, like, is he going to come home and kill us? What time is he going to come? Like all these things, like, and the stress that we just as men put on ourselves because we want to be the providers, right? Like, I got this. I know you're working, you're doing your thing, but like, I got this. I'm the man. Like just this testosterone thing that pride. Yeah, right. You know, and I get that. And for you to open up for her, to her, and be vulnerable to her, like put you in the position to do what you guys did together as a team, $18.5 million. Like you would have never been able to do that. And it's like, you got to let go to grow. You know what I mean? It's the same thing within any family or organization, right? We wouldn't be able to do a podcast, right? I used to travel around by myself with one microphone, okay, and my iPhone 9 probably at the time, right? We'd still be doing that if I wasn't willing to like start letting go
Trusting.
and bringing better people in that are better at this shit than I am. And do you know what I mean? It's same.
What's you?
Yeah, same thing.
I mean, just in the little things, like we just started in the last couple of years with Go Beyond the House,
Mm-hmm.
where we're reaching out and helping those sales reps that don't have that avenue for help, right? And just the little things. We have a new marketing lady in Tara that's helping us out. That these are things that Tiffany and I.
Tiffany,
There she is, right over there.
She's
Hey
right
Tara,
there.
what's up?
There's Tara.
Wake the hell up, Tiff. We caught you.
So I mean, those are the things like there that, to be straight up honest with you, I'm not very good at social media. Tiffany's not very good at social media.
Right.
You find those people that are.
Yeah.
And then you incorporate them into your business, and eventually you help it grow.
Yeah.
Right. And that's our point.
And then they become part of the family.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The key is to identify your weaknesses and find the humans around you
Yeah.
that is their strength,
Mm-hmm.
and then share.
Yeah.
You need to share in it.
Absolutely.
It's not about pride.
I call it, you got to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you in certain aspects that you're not
100%.
so strong at. And there's nothing wrong with that. The biggest companies in the world. Do you think Jeff Bezos knows how to do everything? And I mean, just think, I know Amazon's a behemoth of a company, but I'm just saying that's how Coca-Cola has
But
become.
they bring the right people
Yes.
in that do know.
That's right. That's how
Exactly.
Coca-Cola has become Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I mean, the list goes on. If they were so short-sighted and small, short-term thinking people, we would never have an Amazon. We would
Right.
never have Coca-Cola. We wouldn't have RoofCon.
Exactly.
I'm just saying it. Like if Hunter would have been the one that continued to keep trying to do this, there would have been no way he'd have got 4,000 people here this year.
Right. Right.
Well,
You
you-
can't be so egocentrical
Yeah.
to assume that you can just handle it. No one can handle all of it. You have to drop the pride,
Yeah.
and you have to acknowledge that one person can only do so much. But you can create a team of specialty people, and you can build an empire.
And
Absolutely.
relating that back to roofing, to steal a little bit of Deshaun's thunder,
Mhm.
it's funny because I'm sitting there listening to him speak, and I can close my eyes, and he's talking about amateurs and professionals, and I close my eyes, and everything he says about the professionals are the things that we've incorporated. Where if I don't know something, I'm going to go out and find that person that does, and I'm going to learn from them. You know, I can walk around here and I can toot my own horn and tell you how great of a salesman I am and everything like that. But I find these conferences great for the fact that I go around and I network myself, but I also go around and I learn from those other people. I mean, I try to take as many things I can get from as many people as possible and put them in my tool belt, because that's how I'm going to learn and I'm going to grow. And I don't care if I did 18.5 million or if I did $800,000. I said, there's no ceiling now. And I've learned that. And we've come across the fact that, you know, we used to always think, oh, there's a top, there's a ceiling, there isn't anything that's going to hold you back. If you're willing to learn every single day and you're willing to bring those people around you, that's going to help you grow, there is no ceiling.
Yeah.
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay teachable.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think one of the fascinating things and one of the hugest reasons why I respect you guys is because, you know, I think most people in your position would have already left, you know, the current people that they work for. And I think I know, I respect you immensely. That says a lot about who you guys are, right? Like, who's to say that you couldn't have just went out and do this on your own, especially by now, right? But
I don't even know, I'm licensed and insured myself, so I could easily go do this myself.
And
Right.
we owned our own company for 10 years.
Yeah.
So we've been in it. We've been in all the aspects of it.
right,
But why fix something that isn't broken?
right, yeah,
And I've made
That's
my
huge.
I made my employer. I made, you know, I made Tony a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
but I've also made a lot of money. Sometimes you have to think in your brain that why be too greedy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We're making good money. We're doing things right. We're pursuing the best interest for the homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking care of those homeowners. We're living a great life. We're doing vacationing. Our family's great. Our kids are set. Everything's happy. I still love the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the game for me is not owning a company. The game for me is going out and helping those homeowners. If I owned a company, that responsibility level will be drastically different.
Yeah.
My worry, my focus won't be on the homeowners. It'll be on the sales reps working for me, the employers working for me, my brand, all those different things is what I'd be worrying about
Mm-hmm.
instead of what I really truly care about. And what I truly care about is taking care of those homeowners.
I love that.
And that's why I love the game. And
Mhm.
people ask all the time, man, you made a lot of money in this business, 25 years, you've got this and this and this in the bank. Why are you still doing this? Why are you doing this? And it says, I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life until I stop loving the game. And I love the game.
Mhm.
And that's why I continue to do this.
For
And
sure.
you know, and I love helping those guys out. You know, you go to all these conferences and they all gear toward owners, they gear toward CEOs, management, that level. A lot of these conferences don't gear to the people that really need that help, which are the sales reps, the blood, sweat, and tears of that company, right? The sales reps is what makes the company go. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to reach out to those sales reps and say, hey, there is an avenue. There's a voice out there. I'm still in the trenches myself. You have a question, you have a concern, you have a problem, reach out to me. You know, go to gobeyondthehustle.com, reach out, DM me. I'll answer those questions for sales reps. And that's what I do. And that's what I'm trying to help. And I know there's not an avenue for sales reps out there, and that's what I want to be.
Yeah. It says a lot, not just like, but also Tony, you know, you'd mentioned not being greedy. Obviously he's taking care of you, or else you guys would have hit the bricks a while back. So, you know, that says a lot about him and the kind of human being that he is. And again, he surrounded himself around two freaking, I think rock stars would be underselling the type of people that you are. I don't even know, like superstars, not even rock stars, right? Like
we call them the 1%.
Right. I mean, amongst the 1% here, right? And you know, it says a lot. And going back at work, it's reciprocal. It really is. Like, you know, every relationship, like you talked about, is bringing value, right? Like, what are we doing to bring or improve the quality of somebody else's life, right? And that's what has made you such a successful salesperson, is because you're putting them before you, right? Like, you're giving them more in value than what you're receiving monetarily. And when you can do that, okay, the money comes.
It's coming.
Exactly.
It just comes, like, honestly. And our business model was built off land the work, complete the work, do it right, then worry about getting paid later. That's always the way it was. It wasn't like, well, how much is it? How much are you paying me? Okay, then we'll probably get it scheduled, and then we'll do a shit job, and then we'll leave. The thing is, the sale's never over. I mean, if you want to call it sales, and quite honestly, I don't know if you know exactly where the word sales originated from, or the origin of it. It's actually Old English. Okay, derives from the language, Old English language. And it's salas is the word that means give. I don't know if you know, it just give me fucking goosebumps. Right. I swear to God that I can't believe I just fucking remember that. But what I'm saying is that I swear to God, I think it's pronounced salas. And it derives from the Old English language, and it means give. So sales, the word sales, salesman, salesperson, like, it sounds horrible because I think we're so used to used car salespeople, whatever, sleazy door knockers or whatever, right? But it really means give and share, right? So that's the thing. Like, if I'm adding and giving more value, and value, a lot of times that means just time.
Yeah.
Taking the time, spending the time, holding hands, educating, whatever it takes. Listening. Right, listening and becoming their roofer. I just don't want to sell you a roof, and I think we talked about this before. We did. I want to be your roofer.
I want to be.
So I don't have to knock doors anymore. You just call me when you need something, or your family, your friends, or whatever. And it's because you've given so much value and improved the quality of their life by providing a roof over their biggest investment. Like, that's security, safety, health. You provided for them a healthy, safe environment for them and their family, and their biggest investment they'll ever have in their life. I mean, that's a big deal. What we do, we cover the world one roof at a time. All of us roofers in this building right now, we cover the world one roof at a time.
Sure.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's freaking huge. And what I love about this, especially by hanging out with people like you, Eric O, Reggie Brock, like, we're changing the industry for better. We were making an impact on the industry where we're going to leave it better than the way it was when we found it.
I hope so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's our mission here.
Absolutely.
That's why you're on this show.
Absolutely.
You've been vetted. Just kidding.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's the goal. You want to leave it better than where you found it.
So yes, I mean, that's what this is all about. Like, I mean, I've been in the roofing industry for 30 years. Siding, started out in the siding industry, roofing, whatever. It's all the same damn thing, pretty much. Not really, but
exterior remodeling,
right? Exterior remodel. Okay, and the people that I worked for and the people that I worked around, I was young, dude. It wasn't the same. I mean, yes, there are certain pockets of roofing companies that still behave the way that we did back in those days, and that's all I knew, and how we were trained and how we were taught. I mean, there was fist fights on job sites. I mean, there was just ridiculousness where people weren't even sleeping but still showing up to work, and I mean, still partying and looking. I mean, and I played a part in that a little bit myself. I mean, that was the environment that I grew up in. But it was like one day I just kind of like fell and hit my head hard enough. I was like, look, I don't want to live this way anymore. I still love the roofing industry. I don't want to go anyplace but roofing is in my blood.
Mhm.
And I'm a roofer through and through. I came from, not sales. I came from the production side of things. I'm a roofer through and through. And not a lot of people can say that. And I'm not bashing those that haven't installed a roof or anything like that, because we need all of us to make the industry that we're all trying to make right now. We need the architects, we need the engineers, we need the insurance companies, we need good salespeople, we need good sales coaches. Like, we need the John Scenics of the Deshaun Bryants. We need all of these really smart people to be in our space right now if we want it to be different than it was when we found it. We need all these really smart people.
Right. To turn it around.
Yeah, to turn
To
this
make
thing
it
around.
a positive trade and a
Exactly.
positive career path.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's more. That's what's cool about this. There's more than just roofing to it, and there's more than just siding to it. There's administrative work. Like, give us a rundown on what it is that you do on a day-to-day now to encourage maybe females to get in the space,
absolutely.
in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I handle all of the and all of the office work, all of the managerial, all the bookkeeping. So QuickBooks, taxes, accounts receivable, accounts payable. I handle all of the reporting, those sorts of things. Back in the day, I handled supplements, depreciation, all of the lost drafts, those sorts of things. So I handle the busy work.
Don't sell yourself short here. You climbed on roofs with
Oh,
me.
I did come back at the beginning. I climbed on roofs too.
I showed her every aspect of it.
I was trying to understand it from start to finish, and that really served us well because I had that knowledge, even though I'm not always doing that. When we did have a big opportunity come up, I had the knowledge. We took the time to invest the knowledge and for me to really learn it, even though I wasn't using it every day. And then when it came down to it, I am a reference point for our homeowners as well. When they're calling Dan and they need to schedule, I can answer their questions. And that becomes a huge service to them, that they can call me as well. And in the meantime, he's not taking up his time in answering basic questions that I can help him, that I can help his homeowners get through. So it served us well to be able to handle it that way.
Beautiful story. It just reminded me of something. Jana used to come out and help me tarp roofs. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She used to come up on the roof. We'd bring the whole family. If a storm hit on the weekend,
Yes.
I'd have the whole family out there playing in the front yard and shit. Jana and I
Well,
were up on the
you're
roof.
up on the
them.
roof.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You do what you have to do.
When we first started, back in the olden days, remember when you used to travel for a hailstorm,
Mhm.
be an actual storm chaser?
Yeah.
There was one storm we worked way back when in Appleton where it just was the year that Tiffany, I finally was able to tell her I made, $100,000 a year, finally made that $100,000. And I told her, I said, you don't have to work anymore. I felt so pride and joy about that, about, hey, I took care of my family. I'm taking care of them. Here we go. And there was a hailstorm that hit and she's like, well, what can I do to help you out? For that summer, we started going to my appointments and I was going up on top of the roofs and doing the inspections and doing all that. And she was down below doing the sales inside the house. By the time I got down from that roof and everything was done, she'd hand me the insurance agreement form and say, this one's ready to go. And we did that for 2-3 months straight during the summers. And it was so funny because I didn't build that relationship up with the homeowners. My wife did, or Tiffany did.
Yeah, right.
She had that relationship. So if they had a problem, question, or concern, and that's funny because Tiffany didn't work for the company.
No.
But if they had a problem, question, or concern, they would contact her and be like, go over the question. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy that she wanted to take the initiative to help me out and do that process. And I think in doing that, it was a big deal. She didn't do that all the time, but I think in doing that, that helped her learn that entire side of the industry.
Of course.
Where when we get to the storm like we just had, where I had $18 million a year, if a homeowner would call in and she'd take that question and they would ask questions on the phone, she would have them pre-sold by the time I showed up to that job site. So when I show up to that job site, literally I'd have homeowners ask me right there, where do I sign?
No doubt.
Because she had it already pre-sold. And that's things that I took the time, we took the time to go over those little, things that she can do to help me out, to make my job easier, to provide value into what we're doing.
Amazing.
And so the communication on that part helped out immensely.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
The dynamic duo.
It's about teamwork.
You're not looking for a job, are you? I'm just kidding.
I think that's in plenty of cultures out here with roofing companies. And teamwork is a huge aspect in culture. And my beliefs are loyalty, loyalty, teamwork, and honesty. Yeah. You handle those three things in your roles.
Absolutely. So before we wrap this up, is there anything that you guys want to cover and share with our guests or our viewers or listeners?
Gosh, definitely there's a message out there that where a lot of people reach out to us, work-life balance, and figuring out how to get your person and your family on board. Too many sales reps, managers, even owners of companies, because we've done that too, go into this thinking they need to carry the full weight and not communicate with their family. And in the end, you think that you're doing them a favor, but really it's a disservice. Not only are you slowly breaking down those structures in your life, but the people around you, if you've aligned with humans that share your values and your goals, they want to help to whatever extent it is. And so I would recommend you communicate, you take away the emotion, you take away the pride, you drop your ego, you have a real conversation about goals and about who you want to become in the future, and you work together as a team. So there is hope to do it.
If I remember correctly, I think we're doing a talk on this, right?
We've started mentoring.
Okay.
So that is a new masterclass that we are presenting, where we are mentoring anyone in the industry and their person, their people, whatever they have going on, to ask questions. 25 years, and we are proof that you can make it work.
Yeah, we're no counselors.
No, we're not psychologists.
We're not psychologists.
We are not marriage counselors. We're nothing of the
But
sort.
we're just a couple that have gone through this for 25 years, and we understand, and we've worked together so long that the communication that we have between each other, I think, is important, that we can reach out to other individuals that are going through that struggle right now. So on November 18th, we're going to be getting together. I think it's 8:15 in the evening.
In the evening, so that you can get the kiddos to bed.
We're going to do an
Absolutely.
hour-long masterclass, basically, and discussing. It's going to be limited number. I don't know how many numbers we've got, but it's going to be a limited number of couples where we're going to get in, and we're going to explain how we've gone through things and how our strategies that worked for us, and hopefully they can help you out. Because, I mean, our goal, obviously, when we first started doing this, we had such an argumentative state that, I mean, shoot, we almost got divorced 4 different times, right? Because there was a wall that was set up, and my insecurities and letting her climb that wall or breaking down that wall almost ruined our relationship. And these are things that newer people in the industry, even I shouldn't even say newer people, anybody in the industry, that if they've got that wall, there are ways and challenges to get across that. And we're here to help people out, because that's the last thing we want to see, right? And we do keep doing our Wednesday classes. We do sales classes, insurance classes. We're bringing on people to do it, and having field time to reach out and help those sales reps.
Awesome. Now, you guys have a breakout here at RoofCon.
We did it. Yep, we did it this morning.
You
at
did
10
it this
a.m.
morning. Oh, okay,
Yes.
fascinating.
It's already done.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did a work-life, personal life, pretty jammed in there. We talked to a lot of people on that, so
Good.
it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I love
Yeah.
RoofCon, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it, man. Thank you guys for coming on the show and making our show a better place by sharing your strength and hope with the dynamic duos that are out there thinking that they need to do it by themselves, or I should say the solo, doing it solo by themselves, but bringing their significant others into the fold, bringing the family into the fold. You'd be surprised on how much, if not just, if anything, moral support, but physical support that your family can provide, man or woman. I mean, there could be a woman out there that's a woman roofer that has a husband that it isn't the owner of the business or whatever.
Absolutely.
We spoke to a couple today.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, it's like, let your significant other in, because like you said, I think a lot of it has to do with insecurity. And I think for me, it was like, they're not going to understand what it is that I'm going through. Well, no shit, Sherlock, because you're not expressing it to them or sharing it. You're not sharing it with them. And I think if we can just put that wall down sometimes that you described, like, and just let our family in, plus a problem shared is a problem cut in half.
Yep.
Regardless if they just listen
Right.
to you. But I think the more that we start pushing our family away, the more we're actually pushing our family away. And by not bringing them in, it also then creates trust issues, all kinds of things, insecurity for both parties. So no, I love your guys' story. It's beautiful. I love the impact that you're going to have on other couples in our industry. I look forward to seeing the impact that you guys have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 4 of RoofCon 2024, Orlando, Florida, Orange County Convention Center. Till next time, I'm not exactly sure if or when we're going live anymore today. We may or may not, but we will definitely be going live starting pretty early tomorrow morning. So until then, be safe and take care of each other.
Thank you.
Also,